Up next, we have Chit Chat with MANOJ. The host here is Mr. Manoj Singh of Caesar Productions. Mr. Singh receives enormous amounts of positive emails from the community. Therefore, we can tell that his segment is well liked and looked upon by the viewers. Chit Chat with Manoj highlights guests from all facets of life. Which set of guests are alongside him this week? Let's find out together.
Welcome to Chit Chat. I'm Manoj Singh. Hello, namaste, adab. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic, religion. What does it mean to all of us? And joining me for this discussion today on my right is Mansoor Ahmed. He's a director at NASA, an engineer by profession, and also a filmmaker. On my left, Paramjit Soni. He is an chief enterprise architect at EPA. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
A religion, I think all religions provide some kind of a framework and some spiritual belief to abide by or live by. On Wikipedia states that religion is an organized collection of beliefs, cultural systems, and worldviews that relate humanity to an order of existence. Now, I am a born Hindu, but I grew up around all kinds of religions. My friends were Sikhs, Muslims, Parsi, and I never thought, and myself, I'm not very religious or know a lot about Hindu rituals. But what I knew was that we had a lot of things in common. We used to play cricket together, study together, and the religious background never came in my way in my daily life. Now, what I believe in is to be a good human being and helping all regardless of their background. And I like everything about other religions as well. When I go to Gurdwara or a masjid or even a church or a cathedral, I just bend down, pray a little, feel like maybe there is one super being, and we just see him or her differently. So the first question to Mansoor, what does religion mean to you?
It's a loaded question, I guess, but like you said, I believe religion is the most powerful motivator of humankind. I think because of religion, we see most astonishing achievements we have seen in architecture, culture, music. On the positive side, but the same can be said about the achievements in the negative sense that the humankind has done in the name of religion. So I think it's a very double-edged sword, and we need to figure out how to stay on the positive side and avoid the negative one. I mean, religion does play an important role, I guess, in the society where it allows people to gather together, do things together and socialize with each other by congregating in their mosques or places of worship. It provides some kind of a hope, I guess, in the when things are down, so they can count on some more powerful being to go help them. So I think it is useful in that sense. It could be, again, very dangerous in another sense. Personally, myself, I also, like you, I'm really not very religious. So I think one has to make your conscience be the lead as to which of your religious rituals or beliefs that you need to follow and which ones you need to be questioning.
On the positive note, all religions have something, like, for example, Sikhism. What I like about them is seva, or even Muslim religion. When you go to Gurdwara or masjid, everyone is treated equal. We all sit together and eat regardless of how poor or rich someone is or what your profession is. Same thing with Buddhism, compassion for all living being. So, Param, what does that mean to you? What religion means to you?
Religion to me is a way of life. Just like, when you go to the army, there is a protocol to be followed. There is a process, there is a things you have to do. So to me, as I said, religion is a way of life. So I'm a Sikh, so Sikh religion, think for us it is Nam Japna, Van Chakna, Kirt Karni, three things, as you said, Seva. So I try to implement that in my life as much as I can. Again, we are not 500 years ago when the religion was established, so some things you do have to kind of compromise. But it kind of brings me discipline, as I think Mansoor was saying, that if I have any things I need to worries me, then I look at the holy book and I read. On the other hand, I think religion also brings you together, because when I go to a congregation, Gurdwara in our case, it's like-minded people there, so it kind of, it's a soothing effect for me. So that I treat it more as a way of life, not as much on the following the religion to the extent what they say, do this in the morning, do this at night, or whatever, but whatever I can apply in my day-to-day living.
Yeah. Thinking about some of the challenges, if you look at our history or even today, some people take these beliefs in quite deeply and even become quite fanatic about it. And politicians have always used the religion card for some kind of benefit for their own. Sometimes I feel like that religion tends to divide us. Any thoughts on that?
I can only speak from my own personal growth in this area. When we deal with in interpersonal relationships, I guess, when we deal with an entity as a group, which we don't know them personally, then their other characteristics like a religion, their caste or status or whatever become the more prominent characteristic that we associate them with, and we treat them differently because we don't really understand too much. But when you get to know a person face to face, day to day, and you get to know more of their personalities, their thinking or whatever, then his personal characteristics become the more prominent vehicle of your interactions, and their religion, beliefs, or whatever become a background. And so do you have a different relationship on one-to-one versus a relationship with a group? And so I think not knowing the depth of the group's thinking or philosophies or whatever, creating your own stories about them is the dividing factor, I believe.
Correct. Perception.
Right. So once you get to know, once we came here to the U.S. and got a chance to, meet with all factions and religions, and you realize that, they're just like you. Who cares, what their religious beliefs are? That goes a long way in breaking down those barriers. So I think it's just that, interaction more at a personal level will hopefully avoid those negative.
Very good point. Yes. Param?
To me, religion is very personal. And so I think once we, as Mansoor was saying, when we meet with people, the personal thing comes later as we deal with somebody on whether it's a professional level or it's, just a general interaction or social. That's something which is, unless you're very close to someone, I don't think a religion should really come in the picture. At least doesn't come to me. I just look at what aspect I'm interacting with that person. And the other thing is we should not really, just like in real life, we should not force our values on others. We can share, but let them make a decision what's best for them. So again, it's a very personal, which, I just treat it for myself. If goes into that, I will go into the religion part. And the other thing is that I think the religion and politics should be separate. We try to mix them, but religion is something very different. Politics is something where you interact and for an end gain. There's always an end gain. In religion, there's not, or should not be.
Very good points, both of you. Changing the topic a little bit, I mean, most religions talk about their God who they lived quite frugally. I mean, and they seem to be everywhere, but we still see more and more opulent, lavish worship places. I believe, and that's just my belief, that money could be easily be used for removing poverty, diseases, and taking care of our own peers and human beings. Any thoughts on that?
I think any religion or any there has to be an institution. I do believe that we do need an institution. We need a place where people can come together, just like all the big universities. In fact, I was listening to a program on, I think, NPR a couple of days ago. They were saying that I think MIT is doing a big expansion, although not many people are going as full-time, they're online, and so there was a big debate whether we need an institution. I think the gist of the discussion was, yes, we do need an institution as long as that can be leveraged for things which are useful or beneficial. Similarly, if we have a big gurdwara or big temple or big mosque, I think if there are a cultural center there or other areas where the community can come together and do things outside of just worship, then I think it's a good thing. So I think as long as it is diversified, now again, there's a balance how big that should be. So if it serves a purpose, good. But if it's just there because it's a large building, then I'm not sure.
Correct. Yeah.
If I may, like you said, I think religion is to show you a way of life, I guess. So one way to say that is it's a means to an end. End being, how do you live as a human being? But when the religion becomes an end in itself, then all you're doing is just for the religion and not what religion is there for. And I think that's where the egos and the extravagance and whatnot comes in, because now the religion becomes the focus of your, achievements and attention, and not what religion is there for. So that's the area we need to kind of
put energy and focus on. Yeah. So, I mean, we all know in our community, 80% of the time, some of the worship places were made because of ego. And I also agree with Param. We do need a place to our community to come together, pray together, talk about our issues. But I think a multiple of those seems to have a sort of give a perception of a divided society. So I think we should work together, regardless of religion. We are Indians or Americans first. And any closing comments? I think our time is coming to an end.
I think I think in conclusion, God is one. That's what actually I believe in. And I'll just like to quote one thing which, as our holy book, Guru Granth Sahib, has teachings from Hindu and Muslim and Sikh poets. There was a very famous Muslim poet called Kabir, Sant Kabir, and he said, "Avar Allah noor upaya kudrat ke sab bande, ek noor se sab jab upaya kaun bhale kaun mande."
Beautiful.
I don't think I can top that.
Yeah. I will end this segment with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. He basically said, "The sense of all religion is one, only their approaches are different." Wishing you all love, peace, and tolerance for all. Thank you, goodbye, and all the best.